20th of May 2021, and Chip Theory Games drops this on their Twitter account. Why are we talking about this, 7 months later after that tweet? Well, at the time, Chip Theory Games announced that it would be a US fall 2022 release. So we're talking sort of, much later this year. So I wanted to get in at the start of the year, and I wanted to analyze it, to understand it, to basically to make assumptions on where this game is going. So look, I could be proven completely wrong, but I've done my research and I believe that this would be the best case scenario for this game going forward. So I'm going to ask some questions and I'm going to answer those questions today. So come and join me on this journey where we analyze Chip Theory Games and the Elder Scrolls board game. Okay, so let's understand where we're at. So first things first, the audacity of Chip Theory Games to tease this so far in advance, I absolutely love that. I think that is such a great move. It builds that early hype and it just keeps it going in the background. So they may have been aware of Modiphius's Elder Scrolls campaign, and they just wanted to make sure that some of that money was basically saved for their campaign going forward. So what do we know so far? The things we do know is Chip Theory Games has built up a reputation. They have built up a massive fan base based around neoprene and poker chips. It's such a niche within the board gaming market, and they have absolutely capitalized on this place. So we are talking, their latest release was Burn Cycle, or their latest campaign was Burn Cycle. They've got Too Many Bones, they've got Cloudspire, they've got Hoplomachus, and they've got some others. But they're your really big games that a lot of people will know. Now, the questions we have so far are why Chip Theory Games? Elder Scrolls is such a massive IP. Like, we are talking, off the earth massive IP. So how did Chip Theory Games get chosen to create a board game within this universe? One thing for sure is that their niche, their neoprene and their poker chips, that is going to be staying within Elder Scrolls. That is why they got chosen. So they have the background, they have the knowledge of creating these big campaigns and selling it to the audience. And you know what? That doesn't go unnoticed amongst the big video game companies out there. So I have two theories. One, which will be less likely, and one which I think is the most likely form that this game, the shape that this game is going to take on. So we're going to discuss those two. But firstly, I want to have a look at this this Twitter image. So what we have is basically, we have the Elder Scrolls Online logo. So you look at the Elder Scrolls Online video game box and it's identical. The next thing we have is the ZeniMax down in the bottom right hand corner. So they are the company that produced Elder Scrolls Online. So the first thing we take about this is not Elder Scrolls. This is based on Elder Scrolls Online. And I can't see any other way why ZeniMax would be put on there if this was not the case. So we're going to make the first assumption that this is Elder Scrolls Online. The second assumption we have is you can see in the background, and it's light, we're seeing hexes in the background. Now those hexes, we're going to discuss them later, but there's a reason for those, and I've got a very strong suspicion why those are in there. So the first theory is the main plot line of Elder Scrolls Online. So I think this is the less likely scenario, but let's go through it to understand if this could be a plot line for a Chip Theory game. You play as the Vestige with your soul taken by the necromancer Manny Marco. You escape from Cold Harbor with help from 4 others. You then find out an event called Soulburst that the bonds between Tamriel, which is the continent you're currently on, and Oblivion were weakened, opening up the forces of the Daedric to come into Tamriel. With the help of your 5 companions, you must recover the Amulet of the Kings and make your way to Molag Bol's fortress to recover your soul and defeat Molag Bol and Manny Marco. When you arrive, you find out that Manny Marco deceived Molag Bol, and Molag Bol has captured Manny Marco. So now you've got to take on Molag Bol and defeat him, and he's this massive god, he's this prince of domination, this bad guy. So there you go. With that plotline, can you imagine a cooperative game with the 5 companions going through Tamriel, trying to find that Amulet of Kings and defeating the Daedric along the way and going through to the final end boss battle? It sounds like an absolute great sort of campaign game, but to be honest, I don't think this is Chip Theory. I don't think this is where this game's going. Now, I could be completely wrong, but the second scenario, this is the one where I really think this is the most potential for this game, and this is the most Chip Theory-like game scenario that I can offer up. The Imperial throne sits empty. The dragon fire is cold, unlit, and from every corner darkness grows. Now ancient enemies band together, unlikely alliances are forged, old ambitions rekindled, and as enemies rise faster than allies, salvation cannot come from one hero alone, but from many. So what I'm talking about here is the Alliance War, and this was done in conjunction with that main quest line. So the Alliance War is the ongoing conflict between the Elmeri Dominion, the Daggerfall Covenant, and the Ebonheart Pact to wrest control of the Ruby Throne from the Empire of the Cyrodiil. So, straight away, we're talking factions here. So we're talking Tamriel. Tamriel is the continent, and Cyrodiil is the centerpiece of Tamriel. So Cyrodiil is where the Imperial soldiers are, and what we're trying to do there is we've got 3 different pacts, and each pact has 3 different races within their pact, and they're all vying for control of this Ruby Throne. So basically, to be in control of Cyrodiil. In Elder Scrolls Online, this is a PvP, player versus player mode within Elder Scrolls Online. So, player versus player. So, my first initial gut feeling is think Hoplomachus. Think you are a character going around and you'll be sort of going around as a faction, but you'll be defeating certain enemies along the way, going harder and harder enemies until you get to the final Mullet Bowl, the final big boss battle. So let's understand these alliances. The Elmeri Dominion, their aim is to restore the rule of Tamriel to the Elven races. They're comprised of the Altmar from the Somerset Isles, the Bosmar of the Valenwood, and the Khajiit of Elsweyr. The next up is the Daggerfall Covenant, and basically they are a defensive agreement between the kingdoms of High Rock following a civil war. So this comprises the Bretons of High Rock, the Orcs of Ossinium, and the Redguards of Hammerfell. Lastly, the Ebonheart Pact. And this is an alliance out of necessity. So this was born when 3 provinces joined together to repel an Akaviri invasion. So it comprises the Nords of Skyrim, the Dunmar of Morrowind, and the Argonians of Blackmarsh. And lastly, we have the Imperial Legion. So the Imperial Legion is basically there to sort of guard the Ruby Throne, and they've become more and more hostile to all the other races. So we have this big alliance war building up, all vying for this Ruby Throne. So I think this is where the game's going to be. I think this is the most potential for this chip theory game. So to further amplify this, during the PvP mode in Elder Scrolls Online, when you win these PvP battles, you go up these alliance war points. But on top of that, there's also a separate sort of almost tech tree that you're going up with assault and support lines as well. So you're going to be gathering these points as you win these battles. So let's think about this for a second. So let's imagine going up this tech tree. Imagine gaining more dice along the way. As you get alliance war points, your faction gets stronger. You go up these assault and these support lines, and again, you know, your chips, you're getting more chips, you're getting more dice, you're getting stronger abilities. So, and on top of that, because each of these alliances have different factions within each alliance, you know, we're talking asymmetric abilities. We're talking, you know, potential, like so much potential strength and characters and story that chip theory games can put into this. I really do believe that this has the most potential of any storyline. So it brings me back to on that original Twitter image with those hexes. And I look at those hexes and straight away I think of those battlegrounds in Hoplomachus. Now, again, you think about this potential, this war in Tamriel, these alliances fighting together, and we've got these different neoprene mats, these different war grounds that we're fighting the other alliances. And I think, you know, this is Hoplomachus 2.0 with, you know, the Elder Scrolls, you know, universe lore chucked on top. I just think this could be something very, very special. The last thing I want to discuss is minis. Now, I saw a lot of this talk about it in the forums, and I think this is actually a really strong point. Now, in Burn Cycle, we had these brass minis that were magnetized onto the poker chips, and I think this is brilliant. And I think, again, we want this Elder Scrolls to be the best game yet, and I think that's something that they will be offering. If maybe an add-on, I don't know if it's going to be in the primary pledge, but I think that's something that we're going to see. Like, they've done the research, they understand how it works in Burn Cycle. I think we're going to see your 9 factions as minis, and I'm gonna see them magnetized onto the poker chips. I just think that, you know, they're gonna learn from what they've done previously and they're gonna improve it. And I think that's also gonna be a part of the gameplay. So look, that is everything I can think of right now. Look, we are so early on. We're just starting 2022. If this is a full release, you know, we've got a lot of teaser images and teaser information going to sort of flow in throughout the year. But look, I'm trying to get in early, trying to guess where this game is going. Let me know in the comments below if you think I'm on the right path, if you think that this game has the potential to blow up and be one of the hits of 2022. Look, I'm Hogs, this is Board Game Bangers. Till next time, laters.